All the other talk shows are off the air, so we have stepped in to keep the tradition going in these rough times. So welcome one and all to the last talk show on Earth, starring John Ordover.
Welcome. Look, all the people who know how to do a talk show are off the air. So that means the burden has fallen on us, those of us who don't know how to do a talk show, to pick up the burden until they can get back on their feet. But I got to tell you, I'm going to lead with something serious, which really, shows I don't know how to do a talk show. Okay, bottom line. You want to be a hero? Because I think everyone does at one point or another. I think, by staying away from each other, we may not be saving our own lives. We may never get the virus. But if we do, it most likely won't kill us. But those of us young and healthy enough will make it through. We're doing this to save others, to save our parents, our grandparents, those with weakened immune systems or lung problems or health issues or other kinds. Okay, I'm beginning to understand why other talk shows are done inside. I know the dream of being a hero usually involves doing some sort of dramatic over-the-top act that saves a bus full of people using your super strength or your wits or something like that. As it turns out, you can save thousands by doing nothing beyond staying put and limiting contact. It's not the heroism you were dreaming of, but it makes you just as much a hero as bouncing bullets off your chest or killing Thanos. That said, things are different. It's changed the things we're doing now, and it's made us look differently at things from the past. Like old questions like, why did the chicken cross the road? Now have new answers like, to maintain social distance from the farmer. I went to the ShopRite here nearby. There was easy parking. There was no crowds. The place was stocked with everything you could want except toilet paper and eggs. So I got to think that out there someone is making some kick-ass Charmin omelet. But enough about me. I'd like to introduce my first guest. Let's see. I wish people would tell me who the guests are before they get here. God. I do really wish I was improvising this incompetence. Okay. So my first guest is, excuse me. My first guest is the star of the upcoming streaming release, Robots Revenge. You know him from his previous movies, Robots Return, and Here Come the Robots. Big hand for Ian Henry Walls.
Thank you.
So, Ian, you've been playing robots on a regular basis. What was it that first interested you in the role of robots?
Well, I have to say, robots, there's just something beautiful about them, don't you think? Just something that speaks to your heart. They are the most human of us all, aren't they, John?
Well, no, actually, I don't know. Maybe the Tin Woodsman. Is the Tin Woodsman a robot? I don't know. You're the expert. Because he wanted a heart, and he got one, and maybe since then, all robots have had more heart than human beings. That's a very interesting thing to think about. But I do have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I looked up your record, and you've been playing robots since 1972. But you look exactly the same. So there's a lot of speculation going around that you're playing robots because you are a robot. What do you have to say to that?
Now that is funny. That is very, very funny. That's I've actually heard that one a few times. It's very funny. I think that I think the thing about it is that I am not a robot. I am not a robot. I am not a robot.
But wouldn't you think that's exactly what a robot would say?
Oh, you are funny. I have a brief question for you. I know that you're the interviewer here, but would you mind telling me who is it in particular saying that I am a robot?
Well, as far as I can tell, just about everyone. I mean, they sit in the theaters and like in between scenes, I see them saying, "Oh yeah, he's a robot." Yeah, there's no question, he's a robot. I mean, nobody can act so well as to convince people they're a robot unless they're a robot.
Well, you see, I think that is about the method acting. I like to inhabit the role of a robot. Really, get people thinking. Wow, this guy, he's such a good actor. He's a robot. Not because I am a robot.
You heard him saying it here first, people. He is a robot. So.
Not a robot. Not a robot.
Uh-huh. Can you tell us a little bit about what Robots Revenge is about?
Oh, certainly. Well, if you look at this Robots series, we've really been building up these characters from the get-go, from the Robots, the first Robots film, on through Robots Return and Attack of the Robots, Clones of the Robots, Robots from Space. I think we've really been doing a great job of characterizing this robot rebellion as being true and about just the good old American robot life.
Yeah, you notice he said that we've been building these robots. That's, I would expect that if you're a robot, somebody built you. Well, I don't think we're going to resolve this here. I want to thank Ian Henry Walls, whether he's a robot or not. Not a robot. For being with us today. We'll be right back after this message. Okay, my next guest is Joe DeNozzi, who thought he was diversified enough to keep himself going because he's a fight choreographer and an off-Broadway producer and a whole bunch of other things. But it turned out, in his words, they were all tied to a big audience coming and looking at it. So please give a big welcome to Joe DeNozzi, who's going to talk about all the entertainment problems. Joe!
Hi, John. Should we be sharing a microphone? I'm not sure how this works these days. Thanks for having me on, John.
We only got the one microphone, Joe. So my first question up, just to tell people what you were doing before the lockdown hit. All the things.
All right, let's list them. I am I'm a director, a writer, a actor, a voice actor, as well as a stage combat choreographer and teacher as well. I run my own show, A Sketch of New York, that has been running extremely successfully for the past 4+ years. The only problem in the show is that I had you in it once, twice. 3 times. Additionally, I also have been producing other off-Broadway shows as well. And as a fight choreographer, I teach classes, as well as having, I was working on 3 shows I was working on a production of She Kills Monsters. I was working on a production at Yeshiva University called Lenin's Embalmers, and I was working on the first show to announce that it would not be returning to Broadway, Hangmen.
Yeah, there's a certain irony about that particular one closing and never coming back. Why don't you tell us a little about what the play is about?
The show is about the last hangman in England after they outlawed hanging. So, trying to figure out what to do with himself when his whole lifestyle and way of life and profession has been taken away from him by the government.
Do you see any irony in that you can relate to?
No, not really. No, obviously it's a challenge, and there was some question as to whether or not Broadway shows were going to return after the epidemic and after they unquarantined everybody. But just last night, Hangmen became the first show to announce that even after the epidemic, it would not be returning. It only had 13 preview performances, and opening day was supposed to be yesterday.
And I assume a sketch of New York and everything else you're doing is also shut down.
Largely, yes. We are in the process of working on a couple of projects that we can work on during the epidemic. Hopefully one of them will be fruitful. We're trying to work on a Sketch of New York Actors Relief Fund that we will be live streaming as a way of still showcasing actors and trying to get some money in their pockets, but we're still in the process of working that out. You can go to the Sketch of New York Facebook page and follow us there. We'll be posting any updates there as well as trying to get the Sketch of New York YouTube page that we've been planning in the back pockets for a while up and running. So we're still trying to get some things done, but working in theater right now, literally everything that we do requires that people gather in a large number in a small space. So it's proving very difficult for all collaborative artists right now.
You know, and that really brings to mind that as apocalypses go, this is really boring. I mean, there's no zombies. The only robot is Ian. There's no aliens.
He's a robot?
Yeah, he's a robot. Oh. And there's not even apes with machine guns. So basically, we're all just going to wind up sitting along at home bored. Anyway, we're going to try and combat that after we come back from this message. Joe, thank you.
There is one thing that might be worse than this epidemic, though.
What?
Well, I work in small theater. And you just know in like 9 months there's going to be lots of insufferable plays written about this exact moment.
What could I say? Thanks for being here, Joe, and we're out for commercial, and then we'll be right back with hopefully something that will cheer you guys up. Okay, our next guest is Hardy Brooklyn, who is temporarily suspended from his role as the lead in To Kill a Mockingbird, which he, being a total method actor, insists on maintaining the look and the feel of that character, as originally done by George C. Scott, throughout the rest of his life until the quarantine is over. In fact, that's his protest. He is going to stay in that character until civilization comes back. So, Hardy, welcome. What can you tell us about To Kill a Mockingbird?
Take it. It's a play. It's an intense play that involves me stepping back out of modern life and dressing like a cyclist.
We may have gotten the wrong actor here, but we're going to just play along as if we'd gotten the right one. So how is this whole shutdown hurt your approach to the entertainment industry? Are you still making any money?
No, there is no money for actors right now or anybody in the arts. So please donate to their Patreons or Venmo them or support them with a gift. There is nothing going on because we involve interaction and touching and kissing people.
Okay, well, that's it for our show for tonight. We're going to do one last, Hardy, being out of all other work, is going to do one last wipe for us. And then we're going to close down for this episode. Thank you. Yay. Here we go. Here comes White Man. No toilet paper, but we got White Man. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe in your homes.